Welcome back to Stoic Blessing, the channel where we arm you with the unshakable wisdom of Stoicism and the subtle truths of dark psychology, giving you the tools to master not just yourself, but your relationships and your world. Today we're talking about something most men overlook, what it really means when a woman shares her problems with you. Let me set the stage. She sits down, looks you in the eye, and begins to pour her heart out. She tells you about her frustrations at work, her struggles with friends, or maybe even the weight of something deeply personal, and you, like most men, do what seems logical. You try to help, you offer advice, you lay out solutions, step by step, thinking you're doing her a favor. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That's not what she's looking for. In fact, by doing this, you might be pushing her further away without even realizing it. You see, when a woman shares her problems, she's not handing you a puzzle to solve. She's extending a bridge. She's testing whether you can meet her where she is emotionally, whether you can truly see her and hold space for her experience. It's a way of saying, do you have the strength to sit with my vulnerability without flinching? Can you handle the weight of my storm without needing to fix or control it? And how you respond in this moment can define the strength of your relationship. Here's where Stoicism comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This principle is your key to understanding how to navigate these moments. When a woman shares her emotions, it's not about you fixing the external thing that's bothering her. It's about how you respond internally. Can you stay calm, collected, and present? Can you resist the urge to act impulsively and instead offer her the rare gift of your undivided attention and understanding? The truth is, most men are uncomfortable in the face of raw emotion. They feel the need to do something, anything, to quiet the discomfort they feel inside. But a Stoic man knows better. He knows that his greatest power lies not in fixing the external, but in mastering his internal state. When you can approach her with calmness and curiosity, without being swept away by the tide of her emotions, you're showing her something incredibly rare, a man who is both grounded and powerful. Now, before we go any deeper, I want you to do something for yourself. Comment below with the phrase, "I am in control of my emotions." Write it, own it, affirm it. Because this isn't just about what you say to her, it's about the mindset you carry into every interaction. This affirmation is your first step toward mastering the art of presence, a skill that will not only transform your relationships, but also solidify your inner strength. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to unlock this power and navigate these moments with grace, strength, and control. By the end of this video, you won't just know how to listen. You'll understand how to respond in a way that leaves a lasting impact, built on trust, respect, and emotional mastery. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest traps men fall into when a woman shares her problems, and why it leads to frustration on both sides. It all boils down to this simple misunderstanding. Men think they're being helpful by solving the problem, but what they're actually doing is missing the point entirely. Here's the truth. When a woman comes to you with her problems, she's not looking for a mechanic to fix her car. She's looking for a mirror, someone who reflects back her feelings, who understands where she's coming from without trying to change the road ahead. The irony is that by trying to fix things, men often invalidate the very emotions she's trying to share. Instead of feeling heard, she feels dismissed, even if your intentions were good. This misunderstanding stems from how men and women are conditioned differently. Most men are solution-oriented by nature. They see a problem and think, "How do I fix this?" It's logical, it's straightforward, and it's effective when the problem is a broken faucet or a dead car battery. But when the problem is emotional, that logic fails. Women don't want a solution to their problems. They want a connection through their problems. This distinction is subtle, but crucial. Think about what Epictetus said. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This ancient wisdom is exactly what's missing in most men's approach. Instead of rushing to fill the silence with solutions, what if you simply listened? What if you allowed her to feel truly seen and heard, without jumping in to fix things? Here's an example. Imagine she's telling you about a frustrating day at work. Instead of saying, "Why don't you just talk to your boss about it?" Pause and say something like, "That sounds like a tough situation. How did that make you feel?" These words show her that you're not just hearing the surface-level story, you're engaging with the emotions beneath it. And that's where real connection happens. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't just apply to women, it applies to anyone who comes to you with their problems. Friends, family, co-workers, every human being longs to feel understood. And when you master the art of listening, you're not just becoming a better partner, you're becoming a better person. Here's your next challenge. Take a moment to reflect on how you've responded to someone sharing their problems with you in the past. Then comment below with this empowering phrase, "I am present, not reactive." When you write this, you're committing to breaking free from the fix-it mentality and stepping into the role of a Stoic listener. So, why does a woman share her problems in the first place? What's the deeper motivation? The answer is both simpler and more profound than most men realize. She's not looking for solutions, she's looking for connection, trust, and emotional alignment. Sharing her problems is her way of testing the strength of your bond and your ability to handle her world. Here's a truth rooted in psychology. For many women, communication isn't just about exchanging information. It's about experiencing emotions together. When she shares her struggles, frustrations, or fears, it's an invitation into her inner world. She wants to know if you're capable of stepping into that space with her, not to control it, but to simply be there. This is why quick-fix advice often falls flat. It skips over the emotional bridge she's trying to build and leaves her feeling disconnected instead of understood. Let's look at this through the lens of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you cannot control." What does this mean in practice? It means that when she shares her problems, your role isn't to control or resolve them. It's to provide a calm, steady presence that reassures her you're there, no matter what. She's not testing your intelligence, she's testing your emotional strength. Think about it. In a chaotic world, women and people in general seek out those who can offer calm in the storm. By simply listening, validating her feelings, and being present, you become that steady force. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything she says or feel the same emotions she feels. It means acknowledging her experience without judgment, without trying to fix her, and without losing your own grounding. Here's an example. Imagine she says, "I'm so stressed about work. It feels like everything is falling apart." Instead of replying, "You should quit if it's that bad," try saying, "That sounds overwhelming. I can see why you'd feel that way." This response doesn't offer a solution, it offers understanding. And understanding is far more valuable than advice in moments like this. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you truly listened to someone without offering advice? Reflect on that and comment below. I listened to understand, not to fix. When you write it, you're affirming your commitment to mastering this essential Stoic skill. Now that we understand why she shares her problems, let's talk about how a Stoic man listens. This isn't just about keeping quiet while someone talks. It's about cultivating a presence so powerful it speaks louder than any words ever could. The Stoic approach to listening is rooted in calmness, focus, and detachment. It's about being there completely, without letting your emotions or ego get in the way. Think about the words of Seneca. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Many men waste these moments of connection by rushing to speak or react. instead of truly absorbing what's being said. A Stoic man understands that listening is an art, and his mastery of this art sets him apart. So how do you listen like a Stoic? It starts with silence. Silence is not passive, it's powerful. When someone speaks, especially about their struggles, resist the urge to interrupt, advise, or redirect the conversation. Instead, focus entirely on their words. Pay attention not just to what they're saying, but how they're saying it. The tone, the pauses, the emotions behind the words. Next, practice detachment. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not letting their emotions pull you into a reactive state. You are a steady presence, grounded and calm, no matter how intense their feelings might be. This is the core of Stoicism, mastering your inner state so that external events, whether they're problems shared by a loved one or the chaos of life, cannot disturb your peace. And finally, reflect back. When she shares something, show her you've heard and understood. This doesn't mean repeating her words verbatim. It means acknowledging her emotions in a way that feels authentic and genuine. For example, if she says, "I'm so frustrated with my boss," you could say, "It sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now. That must feel exhausting." This simple act of validation can be transformative. The beauty of the Stoic approach to listening is that it allows you to remain in control of yourself while offering the support others need. You're not fixing, rescuing, or losing yourself in their emotions. You're holding steady, offering calm in the storm. And in a world where most people are too busy waiting for their turn to speak, this kind of presence is rare and unforgettable. Here's what I want you to do next. Comment below with the phrase, "I listen with strength and calm." This isn't just a statement, it's a commitment to becoming the kind of man who listens with purpose and power, the kind of man who others trust and respect. Here's a question for you. Why do most men rush to offer solutions when a woman shares her problems? The answer lies in a desire to feel useful, to feel like they're contributing something tangible to the situation. But here's the hard truth. Offering solutions too quickly can actually backfire, leaving the other person feeling unheard, dismissed, or even invalidated. The true power lies not in solving the problem, but in simply being present. Think about it this way. In Stoicism, we're taught to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone comes to you with their problems, their emotions are outside your control. What is within your control is the energy you bring to the conversation. Are you calm, grounded, and attentive? Or are you rushing to fix the problem so you can move on? Presence isn't about doing, it's about being. It's about showing the other person, without words, that you're fully there with them. When a woman shares her problems, she's not asking you to solve them. She's asking, "Are you steady enough to stand with me in this moment?" Let's break this down with an example. Imagine she says, "I feel like my best friend doesn't care about me anymore." Most men would jump in with advice, "You should confront her," or "Maybe you need new friends." But a Stoic response would be much simpler. Something like, "That sounds really painful. I can see why you'd feel that way." This isn't a solution, it's an acknowledgement. And that's what builds trust and connection. The power of presence lies in its ability to validate without judgment. It says, "I see you and I'm here." It's not about fixing her, it's about giving her the space to feel what she feels, knowing you're a steady presence who won't crumble under the weight of her emotions. This is what separates a reactive man from a Stoic man. The reactive man tries to solve her problems because he feels uncomfortable with her emotions. The Stoic man stays grounded and present because he understands that his role isn't to fix, it's to hold space. Now, take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you truly showed up for someone, fully present, without trying to change or fix anything? Comment below with the phrase, "I lead with presence, not solutions." By doing this, you're affirming your commitment to embodying the calm, steady energy of a Stoic man. Let's go deeper. When a woman shares her problems, what she's saying on the surface is often just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the words lies an emotional context, a deeper layer of meaning that most men completely miss. And if you want to respond like a true Stoic, it's essential to understand what's really being communicated. Here's the thing. People don't just communicate with words. They communicate with tone, body language, and energy. When she says, "I'm so tired of my job," she's not just talking about being overworked. She might be expressing fear about her future, frustration about feeling undervalued, or even a need for reassurance. If you only respond to the words, you're missing the emotional reality beneath them. But if you tune in to the feelings behind those words, you unlock the ability to truly connect. As Seneca wisely put it, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This is a key principle in Stoicism, and it applies here too. The emotions she's expressing may not be about the situation itself. They're about her internal world and how she perceives it. Your job isn't to judge or fix her perception, but to acknowledge it. It's not about agreeing with her emotions, it's about recognizing them. How do you do this? Start by slowing down and observing. Pay attention not just to her words, but to how she's saying them. Is her voice trembling with vulnerability? Is she speaking faster, as if the emotions are too big to contain? Is there a heaviness in her posture? These cues give you insight into the emotional context behind her words. Let's take an example. She says, "I feel like nobody appreciates me." Most men would respond with logic. "That's not true. I appreciate you." But this dismisses her emotional reality. A Stoic response would be something like, "I can see how that would feel really lonely. What's been making you feel this way?" This approach doesn't invalidate her feelings. It invites her to explore them further in a safe space. Understanding emotional context isn't just about her, it's about you mastering the art of emotional intelligence. The more you practice, the better you become at navigating complex conversations without losing your grounding. And the best part? This skill enhances every relationship in your life, not just romantic ones. Now, I want you to pause and reflect. How often do you truly listen beyond the words and try to understand the emotions beneath them? Comment below with the phrase, "I listen to the heart, not just the words." This commitment will remind you to approach every conversation with empathy and awareness. Here's a paradox that few understand. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, to offer opinions, or to fill the silence, the ability to remain calm and quiet is a rare and profound skill. And as a Stoic, mastering silence can be one of your greatest tools in navigating emotional conversations. Why is silence so powerful? Because it creates space. When someone shares their problems, silence shows them that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're fully present, absorbing their words, and giving them the respect they deserve. It allows them to feel heard without the noise of your own thoughts or judgments crowding the moment. This principle is deeply rooted in Stoicism. Epictetus reminds us, "Nature gave us one tongue and two ears, so that we could hear twice as much as we speak." By staying silent, you create an atmosphere of calm and attentiveness, signaling that you're not reacting impulsively. You're thinking, processing, and staying grounded in the face of their emotions. Silence also communicates strength. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They feel the need to fill it because it exposes insecurity or discomfort. But a Stoic man, he's comfortable in the quiet. He knows that his value isn't measured by how quickly he responds, but by the depth of his presence. Let's take an example. She says, "I feel like everything in my life is falling apart." Instead of immediately jumping in with advice or reassurance, try this. Pause. Let the silence settle for a moment. Look her in the eye, nod gently, and simply say, "I'm here for you." That pause shows her that you're not rushing to dismiss her feelings or fix the situation. You're giving her the space to process her own emotions while letting her know she's not alone. But silence doesn't mean apathy. It's not about withdrawing or ignoring. It's about restraint and focus. You're choosing your words carefully, responding only when you truly have something meaningful to add. This is how you embody the calm, deliberate energy of a Stoic man. Now take a moment to think about this. How comfortable are you with silence? Do you feel the need to fill it, or can you let it exist without fear? Reflect on this and comment below with the phrase, "I am strong in silence." By writing this, you're affirming your commitment to mastering this powerful Stoic tool. Here's something most people won't tell you. Everyone, yes, everyone, seeks validation in some form. It's a natural part of being human. But understanding the role validation plays, without becoming a slave to it, is where true mastery lies. And if you want to navigate relationships like a Stoic, you must understand how validation operates beneath the surface. When a woman shares her problems, she's often seeking validation, not solutions. This doesn't mean she's being manipulative or needy. It's simply human nature to want our emotions and experiences to feel acknowledged and valued. The problem arises when men misunderstand this need and either ignore it or overcompensate by becoming overly accommodating. Here's where dark psychology comes into play. Many people unknowingly use validation as a tool for control, seeking it excessively or weaponizing it to manipulate others. But as a Stoic, your approach to validation must be different. You're not here to withhold it as a form of power, nor to offer it endlessly in search of approval. Instead, you provide it from a place of strength and intention, not weakness. What does this look like in practice? Let's break it down. Imagine she says, "I feel like no one ever listens to me." The average man might rush to over-validate. "That's not true, I always listen to you." This response, while well-intentioned, comes from a place of desperation to please. A Stoic man, on the other hand, might say, "That sounds incredibly frustrating. I'm here, and I want to listen now." This approach validates her feelings without compromising your composure or boundaries. By understanding this balance, you show her that you value her experiences without losing yourself in the process. You're not reacting emotionally, you're responding intentionally. This makes you stand out, not just as a partner or a friend, but as someone with emotional intelligence and self-control. But remember, validation isn't just about words. It's about actions, body language, and energy. Sometimes simply sitting with someone in their struggle, showing through your presence that they're not alone, is the ultimate form of validation. It says, "I see you and I'm here," without needing to say much at all. Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do you offer validation from a place of strength rather than insecurity? Comment below with the phrase, "I validate with strength and intention." This commitment will remind you to approach every interaction with clarity and confidence, grounded in your Stoic principles. Let's bring this all together. When a woman shares her problems with you, your role isn't to fix her, control the situation, or even lose yourself in her emotions. Your role is to embody the calm, disciplined presence of a Stoic man. This isn't just about emotional intelligence. It's about leading with strength, self-discipline, and unshakable confidence. This is what builds lasting respect. Think about it. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn through your actions and energy. When you stay grounded in the face of someone else's emotions, when you validate without overcompensating, when you listen without losing yourself, that's when you show true strength. And strength is magnetic. It inspires trust, admiration, and connection. The empowered man's role is to be the steady force in a chaotic world, This doesn't mean you're emotionless or detached. It means you've mastered the art of responding rather than reacting. You've learned to listen deeply, validate intentionally, and remain present without trying to control the uncontrollable. You've become the kind of man who others can rely on, not because you fix everything, but because your presence itself is a source of stability. Here's the key. Women, and people in general, are drawn to men who can handle their emotions with grace. Not by dismissing them, not by getting swept up in them, but by holding space for them. This ability shows that you're confident in your own skin, that you're not afraid of vulnerability, and that you have the strength to navigate emotional depth without losing your footing. Let's take an example. Imagine a storm at sea. Most people are like small boats, tossed and turned by every wave of emotion that comes their way. But the Stoic man, he's like the lighthouse, steady, grounded, and unwavering, no matter how rough the waters get. This is your role. You don't need to calm the storm, you just need to stand firm in it. And when you do, you'll find that people naturally gravitate toward your strength. Now, reflect on this. Are you the lighthouse, or are you the boat? Take a moment to own your commitment and comment below with the phrase, "I lead with calm and strength." When you write this, you're affirming your role as a steady, empowered presence in every relationship. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored today. If a woman tells you about her problems, it's not about fixing, controlling, or rushing to find solutions. It's about connection. It's about trust. And most importantly, it's about showing her and the world that you're the kind of man who leads with calm, strength, and intention. The Stoic man doesn't react impulsively, he responds with wisdom. He doesn't fixate on what he can't control, he masters what he can, his own emotions and presence. By listening deeply, you're giving her a gift far more valuable than advice. By validating without losing yourself, you're building trust and respect. And by standing firm in your own emotional discipline, you're showing her and everyone around you that you're the lighthouse in the storm, unshaken by the waves of life. Now, here's your final challenge. Take one thing you've learned from this video and put it into action today. Whether it's staying silent when your instinct is to speak, reflecting someone's emotions instead of jumping in with advice, or simply being fully present in a conversation, practice it. And when you've done it, come back here and comment with the phrase, "I embody calm, strength, and wisdom." Let's hold ourselves accountable and commit to becoming the kind of men who lead by example. Before we close, remember this. Being a Stoic man isn't just about philosophy, it's about action. It's about showing up in the world as the calm in the chaos, the steady hand when others falter, and the source of strength that people can rely on. And that starts right here, with the small, deliberate steps you take every day. If you found value in today's message, make sure to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Blessing and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson in wisdom and self-mastery. And as always, leave your thoughts and reflections in the comments. Together, we're building a community of men who embody true strength and clarity in every aspect of life. Thank you for being here, for striving to grow, and for committing to the path of Stoic excellence. Until next time, stay strong, stay calm, and remember, the power lies within you.